Hey y'all, what's up? It's Jasmine J here with another episode of CCGO, where we spotlight small businesses or things that's going on in the community. And today I have a pleasure of speaking with Janelle, so I want to give her the opportunity to introduce herself, who you are, what you do, and what brought you here today.
So my name is Janelle Compton. I am a real estate coach and real estate broker. And what brought me here today is I want to change my business around, and I want to be hyperlocal. I think I'm hyperlocal, but I want to be more known universally for my skills and systems and models.
Okay, well, shout out to that. So let's dig into it, the whole thing with real estate. So before we talk about where you want to go this year, let's just talk about your journey of real estate and how you got to where you are right now.
So I started out investing. I got married young, had kids very young.
Mm-hmm.
And so my ex-husband had this mind frame of entrepreneurship from the beginning.
Yeah.
So he came home with his little white book and he was like, hey, we're finna start buying houses. And he started knocking on doors. And when we started doing this, we were paying a real estate agent, didn't know very much about it. And I was working in home equity at Bank One before it became Chase.
Okay.
Long time ago. So long story short, we were like, he said, you're now a real estate agent. Go to real estate school and you're going to be the real estate agent so we can save some money. So I got in it by force. And then I began to like it. It began to fuel me. I began to learn things. And one thing about real estate, it never gets boring. So when I got to learning it, I would just teach my peers.
Yeah.
And then one of my brokers called me one day and he said, hey, you can't do property management anymore. You are costing me money. You are a liability to me. So you got to find you another broker in 24 hours. And I promised myself that I would never be in that position again.
Yeah.
So I got my broker's license and I was sitting at a table just like this. And when I got it, I wanted to know how, not just be able to broker, but how could I be a bigger impact?
Yeah.
I've always believed that it's impact over income.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I've been teaching all this time. Let me just start coaching. And I started coaching at KW. And then I moved here to Houston and when I impacted my first client, I was like, oh, wow.
This is something
I can do.
So around what year was that where you started coaching at KW?
I started coaching about 2014.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was your first niche or what were you coaching exactly at that time?
Crazy part is I was just coaching new agents on sales.
Okay.
I was just coaching sales skills. And people would take what I say. They could do a contract or two. But it was one guy walked into my office and he said, I heard you in there talking. And I wanted you to know that today I was about to commit suicide. And I'm going to give you an opportunity. You think you can help me? And I was like, yeah, that's a lot. But I can do it, right?
Right.
So I didn't know how I was going to be able to do it. But I didn't want to see him die.
Yeah.
Right? So he came back in the suit the very next day. And he wrote down everything that I said. And when I realized that the things that I say, people have to go and implement and become millionaires and doing it, because right now he is on his own mortgage company, real estate company, and he's killing the game.
Wow.
That's what made me say, oh, I do have value.
Yes.
Right? I can do this.
Yes.
And so I did it for another and then another. And then I moved here to Houston and we were almost to like 80 agents. But when I was at KW here, when they moved me here, I had up to maybe over 100 agents. And those, at least about 10 or 15 of those are out owning their own brokerages, mega agents, making a lot of money.
That's amazing. That means that, like you say, you really are bringing value, and what you're coaching them with is really helping them. So I think that's amazing that you want to do this on a global scale, you know, because you have what it takes for sure. So now you're here in Houston. And so what happens now that you're here, or how do we get to where we are today now?
So we were here. I love KW. I love their training. I love their model. What I didn't love is what they were charging people, because agents were getting in this business. And what void that I feel and what I love about it is because people don't teach you real estate. They don't tell you the ins and outs, how much money it costs. They don't tell you how to behave and what to model and what to choose. So that's why I decided to open up my own brokerage, because I could do that. I could show people how it's actually supposed to be done and let them know ahead of time. Like, here's the nitty gritty. Here's the dirty things that people don't tell you, but here's how to get over it.
For sure.
Here's how to work through it.
So do you think that's something that makes you and your coaching style stand out from other coaches in the real estate industry is that you are very transparent. You give the whole story, or what are some things that you feel make you stand out as a coach?
I was just having a conversation and I asked one of my clients, because I'm at this place where I don't know. And I was like, well, what is it? I don't know how. It seemed like we have this big disconnect now in our team. And what do we do? And he says, it's you. We're missing you. People buy you.
Yep, that's true.
People buy the hope that you provide. People buy the confidence that you have. And you give us actionable items that we can actually go out and do.
Yep, and execute.
So, that's it.
I love that. I really love that. So it's 2024, right? And like you say, you're trying to go to a national level with your coaching. So what are some things that you feel like you could bring to the national level? Like, what are some things that you feel like people can learn from you everywhere?
So sales skills. I teach transferable skills. So anything that you learn from me, kind of like with my daughter, you can use in any industry.
Yep.
The biggest part about it is reinventing and reshaping your mind. You have to become the person to receive the things that you want to receive. And a lot of people work on this. Like if I'm in marketing, then I'm working hard on marketing, but I never can break that glass ceiling because I didn't become the person to receive the things that I'm looking to receive.
For sure.
So if I handed it to you, will you be able to manage it? Will you be able to grow it? Will you be able to use it to betterment the world? And that's what I teach people, how to betterment you so that you can betterment the world.
So I think that's very important that to highlight what you just said, because you're basically saying that not only am I going to teach you sales and real estate, but I'm going to teach you some things to better yourself because you yourself have to be whole in order to continue to grow at any level in any industry. Yeah. So I think, man, that's a beautiful thing, Janelle, that you're doing for sure. So what are some challenges that you're having?
Marketing is challenging. I realize that I'm a performer.
Okay.
But I don't have the things that's behind the scenes that allow me to be seen across the world. Like I can sit here with you for hours and I guarantee you'll leave here with a better mind and you're going to go out and execute something that I said. But I don't know how to get my voice out.
Yeah.
So I'm a social media person for the wrong reasons. If I'm just going to be transparent, right? I'll go and I'll put something out there and it's like, I might do it once a week, maybe once a month. And then when I log on, I'm logging on to see other people's content, not necessarily my own content. Right. And I know the thing to do. I just don't have the skill to do it.
Got you. So strategy, you need strategy Absolutely. When it comes to your marketing, your social media marketing, all of your marketing.
Yeah.
And so as someone that teaches sales for realtors, talk to me about CRM systems and how important they are.
The CRM, so we used it as anatomy. Without the heart, you can't live. CRM is your heart, right?
For sure.
And so it houses all of the information that you need. It has an output. It is connected to it. So you need a CRM to be able to output what you know and to stay in touch and stay top of mind with everyone that you come in connection with.
Yes.
So if you sit down and try to do it physically, call every single person, you can't walk and talk enough to make the money that you're desiring to make.
For sure.
So the CRM does it for you. And it does what we are unable to do, and it follows up.
For sure. I second that. I really do. Because, something that we do a lot of here is marketing for ourselves, marketing for other companies. And I talk to them all the time about CRM. I'm like, where's your pipeline? Like, where's everyone going? Because once we come up with this huge strategy on how to market, who are we going to talk to if you don't have a system where you're collecting these contacts? So, CRMs are very, very important.
Yeah. And another thing a CRM does for us is it shows us that we are valued other than just for an item or something, right? So how can I help you? How can I stay in front of the person? Because in sales, we think that we make a phone call one time and that's going to be the thing. But 70% of sales is converted after the 6th or 7th contact. 90% of sales is converted after the 12th or 15th contact. So that one phone call that you made, that one time you reached out, that one handshake that you gave is not going to be enough.
It didn't even put a dent in it.
It didn't. So the CRM does the heavy lifting, which allow you to be good at what you do.
That's a word, y'all. That's a word right there, Coach Janelle. So one thing I want to bring back up that you mentioned earlier, you said that they told you when you were talking about where you are right now, and they said it's missing you.
Yeah.
So as a woman, as a CEO, as a coach, as a mentor, as somebody that people always depend on, talk a little bit more about why it's so important to take care of yourself so that you can pour into other people.
Yeah. It's extremely important to be whole. It's extremely important to have a foundation of self, knowing where you're going, because when you're pulled and the energy level, a lot of people don't believe in energy sources, but energy and what other people are connected to now becomes connected to you. And so if you don't take time for yourself and continue to reinvent, continue to grow, continue to read, continue to actually have some still time, like your routine is your results.
Yes.
Yeah. So
another one, y'all, another gym.
Yeah. It's power in your routine. And so what I concentrate on, and I make it a point to do every morning, is just have some stillness.
Yes.
To dump my brain and to get away from all of the opinions. You really start hearing all these voices, and you're in touch with them. So I want people to understand that the better you are, the better you will be in your business.
For sure.
And people can see it. People know when you are faking it.
Yep.
So if you run a team or if you have a bunch of people, it's important to just take yourself and dump.
Yep.
And dump.
For sure. I have something, I tell the team here all the time, I do something called brain dump. So at 8:00 every day, my phone goes off and it says brain dump. And so I get to just take a minute, everything I've been thinking about all day that I'm not going to have a chance to get to at all, I just dump it in my notes. And then when I have time, I go back and I can organize those notes, and then I can create tasks and on from there. But it's got to get off my brain. So when I go to sleep at night, I can get the rest that I need to show up the next day and be who I need to be for myself and for the team. So that, listen, y'all, if y'all don't know, she gonna be national in a second, okay? Because this information is really valuable. It really is.
I want to give you an app. This app is super cool. I don't know the name of it, but it's a journal app, and I found it. And what it does is it takes everything that you put in your phone. It takes all your thoughts, your pictures, and it allows you to reminisce on your day. And just make notes about it, and it'll dump it for you, and you can talk to it. So I'm all about convenience. So when I'm writing is important. Yeah. Because the transfer from the brain to the pen to the paper is a release. It's supposed to do that.
For sure.
But if you don't have time, this right here brings me to reflection. Like, why am I thinking this? Because thoughts are powerful.
Yes.
And so I use this app. It's just called Journal. But it'll take your pictures. It'll take your text messages. It'll take all of this stuff and help you release. Yes, for sure. No, I'm definitely going to download that app, because like you say, it's very important for anyone, but especially people that are responsible for others. You know, you have to make sure yourself is in line. So what are some things you're looking forward to doing this year? I want to speak to big crowds. I don't want to say preferably, but my main group of people that I want to speak to are young women. Shout out to that. I love that, because they need it. We need it. They need it. Women, we all need it. I've always been the mom of the group. All my kids' friends always come to me. Yeah. But what I see is doubt and fear in a lot of young women's lives. And we're making strides right now. Yes. But it's important to not just make financial strides and monetary strides. It's important to become a great person on the inside. For sure. And we've been held back for so long. And I think our youth is the beginning to our end. And so if nobody reaches back to them and teach them, we're going to have a problem. And so a huge problem. Yeah. So my podcast that I wanted to start was Significantly She. I want women to know, and young women to know, that they're significant, that they're needed, that they're important, and that everybody has a place. And if we find our place, we'll have an easier life. For sure. You know, I always, every time I interview someone, I ask them about, like, what is their advice to the youth? Because I'm really big on youth. And I, too, had kids at a very young age. So I'm known for, all the kids come to my house. And then the team that we're putting together here at CCN is full of young people, you know. And I always tell people it's so important to pour into them. Number one,
the new generation, they have a lot of confidence,
yes.
And they have a lot of access to a lot of different things. So they need that mentorship. They need that experience to guide them in the right direction with what the gifts that God gave them already and the technology and access that they have. So I think it's very important to pour back into the youth. And the fact that you want to do that for young women is a beautiful thing. This month is Women's History, right? And so it's like we have to recognize the work that we're doing, the work that was done before us, and the work that we need to do for our younger generation. So absolutely. I think the podcast is going to be a hit for sure.
Yeah. I think we as women have been taught this thing of silence.
Yeah.
And then so we try to have a voice without a voice. And it's crazy, right? But I admire the young people.
Yeah, me too.
I admire the way they move. I admire the way they think. I admire the way they dream. And I think we can learn from them as well.
Yes.
It's just that there's no platform for that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to just help just young. I want to help 12 to 25. I think that's the prime part of a young woman's life where they're being shaped.
Yeah.
But not just here in Houston. I want any kid who needs that to be able to hear my voice somewhere.
So that's what's really inspiring you to start your podcast.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So outside the podcast that you want to do, what are some other things you want to accomplish this year? So
I want to be able to sell my courses online. I know that I have a mindset that everybody's a coach, right?
Yeah.
But I do have some proven tactics that people have actually used. And when I see people teaching real estate, I only see them teaching the glamorous part of it. So what I want to do is reach people and show them transferable skills that they can use in anything, but things to not just sell houses, but to grow in this business. Because when you don't climb, you stay stuck. The industry leaves us behind. Like right now, the industry changed. So people with the same mindset that they had when they got into real estate school are going to be behind.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are some of those, if you don't mind mentioning, what are some of those transferable skills? Like, is it like communication skills? Like, what are some of these skills that they will learn?
So they're going to learn communication skills. They're going to learn sales skills, resilience.
Yes, that's important.
Yeah. Models, right? Every business needs a model.
Yes.
So you're going to learn how to use systems in your business because we all need systems in our business. So all of that, punctuation, just being
professionalism.
Yeah. Being a great business person, period. You could win people over. You are your business at the end of the thing. So branding, right?
Yeah.
Branding yourself or people, because people buy us before they buy our product.
That's true.
Right. People will buy anything from you if they believe, know, love, and trust you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what, I just lost my train of thought. I was going to ask, man, maybe it'll come back to me. But we were just talking about the youth. For any young woman out there that just is dreaming, but they're stuck, what is your advice to them?
So if you're dreaming, but you're stuck, I tell you to do some shadow work. Ask yourself some really important questions and learn you. A lot of us put us to the side because it's so easy to just move forward. Yeah. But those things that we're tucking away, they're going to appear sometime. So if you're stuck, read, dump, and just sit in yourself for a minute and do some shadow work. You can go to Pinterest and get a shadow work exercise. It'll ask you a couple of questions and you'll think it's easy, but write yourself a letter.
Definitely write it out for sure.
I remember one day, my daughter wrote me a letter from her 12-year-old self.
Wow.
And it really, really, really stuck with me because I don't want to go back to my 12-year-old self, but that's why I'm stuck. Yeah. And I realized that in my 30s that I'm stuck here because I haven't addressed
something back
jelly,
then.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I was called when I was a kid. And so if you are stuck 9 times out of 10, it's something that you're holding on to or haven't let go or haven't dealt with. Yep. That's keeping you from opening that next door. So do some shadow work.
I agree. The pandemic was a time where everything slowed down for everyone. Mm-hmm. And that was a moment where God got real in my life. Like he was like, look, sis, we're going to sit you down and you're going to have to deal with some things because I have something for you. But before I can give you access to that, you're going to have to work on yourself and get yourself to the point where you'll be able to receive what I have for you. And it was rough. Yeah. It really was rough. Sometimes it's rough, having to look in the mirror and see, maybe this was on me, or maybe I didn't do this, or this is wrong about me, or whatever the case may be, or even seeing the good things about yourself.
Yeah.
But it's taking that time, like you say, being with yourself, reflecting, reading, journaling, all of that I believe will help you get to where you want to be for sure. So the thing that I wanted to ask you that I couldn't remember was about strategy, right?
Yeah.
So I always talk on my podcast about strategic planning because strategic planning saved my life. So how do you feel about having strategy? What is your take on strategies?
I believe it is the root. So if we don't have a strategy, we always run off half-cocked and we continue to reinvent the wheel. Right?
Yeah.
Without a plan, and I'm a big planner, so I'm not just a plan A person. I hear people say if you don't have one plan is going to work. I'm with strategy. Right?
Yep.
Let's brain map this thing out. Let's sit it down. Let's put it out on paper. Because strategy gives us direction too.
Yeah.
The world, the business field is so broad. It's kind of like this table. So if we don't follow a path, we could be
doing this.
Absolutely. We can end up anywhere. But what we end up doing is being stuck.
Yeah.
Where we stay. Doing everything is like doing nothing at all.
Yeah.
So without a strategy, and what I've been introducing to my agents is not just a horizontal strategy, but a vertical strategy too. So how are we going to scale? That's our vertical strategy. But how are we going to grow it deep? How are we going to grow? Because we can't do it alone. So where's our team going to come from? Where's our appearances and stuff going to come from?
Yeah.
Where's our growth going to come from? So we need a horizontal strategy as well. But if you just get out and just start doing something, you'll find yourself just doing this.
Yep. Being in the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this has been great information. I'm really looking forward to working with you after this. Is there anything else you would like to share?
No, because you put me on the spot. And it's so crazy you said that because my client just told me, I never hear you close. So I'm going to close today.
There we go.
So what I want people to know is to look out for my podcast.
Yes.
I'm going to have a podcast just so I can help that young girl become who she always dreamed that she could be. I want to put reality to the dream.
Love that.
And then I have a podcast that I want to do to help real estate agents stay in the field and build strong relationships.
Yes, because that's what it's about.
What we don't learn is how to build a sellable business. Most people get in business because they say, I'm going to own this business for the rest of my life. But businesses in other ethnicities and other industries are built to sell.
Yep.
And we can sell strong businesses if we build them correctly.
Correct.
So if you're looking to build a business, if you're looking to become the best real estate agent you can, if you're confused about where real estate is going, then I want to be able to teach you, reach out to me. And I have some courses that I have coming up and a webinar next week on Wednesday that is free just to give people an opportunity to understand and put their voices out there and know where real estate is going.
I love that, Janelle. You are definitely a blessing out here. Let them know where they can contact you.
So they can reach me on Instagram at I am Janelle Compton. They can reach me on my website at janellecompton.com. All of my courses are there. And they can also follow me on Eventbrite. All of my events and courses and classes I teach out in the city twice a week is on Eventbrite.
So there you have it, everyone. Janelle came and gave a lot of gems on what we all need to hear as entrepreneurs in general, and definitely if you're in the real estate space. So make sure you look at the contacts. They'll be down in our notes. Make sure you reach out to Janelle, see about the webinars, some of the classes that she's offering, and definitely stay on the lookout for the podcasts that are coming. This has been another episode of CCGO with your girl, Jasmine J, and we're out. Peace.